Good morning, everybody, and welcome to The Balancing Act. We're so glad you're here. I'm Julie Moran.
And I'm Olga Villaverdi.
All right, time to think about back to school. Yes?
Are you happy?
Collective sigh. Oh, my goodness. But we've got some colorful ways your kids can do their homework, plan their schedules, and a lot more.
Are we happy?
All good.
And if the older kids are heading off to college, you're going to want to make sure they are prepared. We got some great ideas to help them eat right while they're away.
The Balancing Act, you got it, starts right now. As the new school year approaches, it's time to make sure that you and your children are fully prepared with the best classroom tools. And we want them primed for learning and at the same time erase some stress for the student and even for mom. And with us to discuss this and more is Ariane Langsam, Director of Consumer Marketing for Pilot Corporation of America. Welcome, Ariane. It's so great to have you back in the studio with us.
It's great to be here.
So tell me more about helping to erase stress from students all over the U.S.
Well, back to school is a crazy time of year for all of us.
All of us, it sure is.
So much to do and keep track of. And last year when we talked, we were just test marketing the friction clicker at a few key retailers, and it went well. It went so well that we are right now launching the erasable friction clicker nationwide at Walmart, Target, Staples, and many more retailers, just in time to erase stress for back to school.
That's fantastic. So many people, though, are a little skeptical about using erasable pens, and I can say I used to be one of those people. Why do you think that is?
Traditionally, erasable pens contained a combination of rubber, cement, and ink, so they didn't write well or erase well. But the friction clicker is completely different. First, it's retractable, so there's no cap to lose.
Perfect.
And it's got this cool clip-click mechanism. But the most important difference is the ink. The ink is designed to write smoothly and erase cleanly. It's thermosensitive, so when you turn it over and you rub the erasing end on the paper, it creates a little bit of heat. And that heat is what makes the ink disappear from the page. No smearing, no tearing, and no messy eraser shavings.
Oh, no mess homework. I love that. And with all these colors, I mean, I think it could actually make homework fun and less stressful.
It's true. Friction can help reduce stress in homework. Students find it empowering to be able to erase work that's been done in pen. They don't need to start over, there's no messy crossouts, and it gives the impression they got it right the first time. Another way that friction can help reduce stress is by helping students keep a neat, organized, color-coded planner.
And you know what, I'm thinking about myself right now. I'm thinking, like, I have two daughters. I can go pink for Michaela and purple for Maya. Keep my planner and my date book organized, because sometimes I look at it and it just looks like a blurry mess, but this could really help me too.
Absolutely. Friction is great for parents for keeping home schedules organized, and just like you said, different colors for different kids, different types of activities. I know I use it for my planner, and when my planner is neat and organized, I feel like at least that part of my life is under control.
So true. We have to take control wherever we can, right? Well, it is wonderful to see you again. I just think these are great. I'm probably going to sneak these to my dressing room if that's okay.
You should.
Thank you again for coming in.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to find out more about Friction Clicker, visit Pilot's website at powertothepen.com. That's powertothepen.com. And remember, you can find them at most major retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you want to find out even more about what to write home about regarding today's topic, visit us on Facebook or on the web at thebalancingact.com. So great. Rheumatoid arthritis, also known as RA, is a debilitating and painful condition affecting women more than twice as much as men. An abnormality in the body's immune system, RA symptoms include inflammation in the lining of the joints and other internal organs. With us to discuss what's being done to help RA patients is Dr. Ara Dokranian, an MD and arthritis and rheumatism specialist with San Diego Arthritis Medical Clinic, a single specialty private practice based in Southern California. And coming up later, we'll meet a woman currently coping with RA and learn what medical science is doing to help manage her condition. Good morning, doctor. It is so great to have you here this morning.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here.
What and who is affected by RA, and what are the major symptoms?
Sure. So there's about 3 million Americans that are affected by RA, and about 70% of those affected are women. And we know that RA is an autoimmune condition, which means it's a problem with the immune system that's manifest in the joints. So the first signs that someone might think they have RA can include things like joint pain and stiffness in the hands, the wrists, and the feet. And over time, this can lead on to other joints and cause loss of function or just difficulty with mobility. But because it's a systemic disease, people can also get systemic complaints like fevers, loss of appetite, weight loss sometimes, and just a general fatigue and stiffness in the morning that can last many hours.
You know, it affects women so much more. Why is that?
Yeah, we don't really know, but some of the theories are that some of the genes that make people susceptible to rheumatoid arthritis are found on X chromosomes, which women obviously have 2 copies of. And we know that there's hormonal influences such as estrogen. Pregnancy can play a role sometimes in terms of the onset or the severity of rheumatoid arthritis. And we also have to remember that conditions that are found in women more commonly, like osteoporosis and pregnancy, these play a factor when we're trying to choose medications that are appropriate for the RA patient.
As the disease progresses, do patients typically recognize ongoing symptoms as like the new normal? Is this how I have to feel?
Yes, absolutely. It's quite remarkable how patients adapt to a lot of the difficulties that they face. And it's actually quite motivating to see patients with challenges like pain and difficulty moving their joints and stiffness adapt and sort of find that new normal. So it's encouraging that we now have therapies to help patients with this and improve function in a lot of cases, in cases where patients have had physical impairment from their symptoms.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Why is RA worse in the morning?
Yeah, it's not really clear, but it seems to follow a circadian pattern or a daily pattern. And we know that certain types of mediators of inflammation are found more commonly in the very early morning hours. And therefore, so patients trying to sort of wake up in the morning and get their day going find it pretty challenging, especially in women. Now, we have to really remember that women are trying to get ready going to work, trying to get the kids off to school sometimes, and in the early morning hours when they're having stiffness and pain, it becomes quite a challenge. So again, some of these symptoms that are more predominant in the morning have various therapies that we can offer and generally help with that stiffness and pain in the morning.
That's good to know. Doctor, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we'll find out how patients are coping and what can be done to manage the symptoms. We'll also meet a woman with RA, and she's here to share her story, so don't go away. There's so much more coming up on The Balancing Act. We're back, and we've been talking with Dr. Ara Dekranian, an MD and arthritis and rheumatism specialist from San Diego. And joining us now, here to share some of her medical story, is Jennifer, a patient coping with rheumatoid arthritis. And welcome, Jennifer. Doctor, we're so glad that you're here with us today. And Jennifer, before I share your story, I want to turn to the doctor again, and I want to ask, Doctor, how do you really treat RA?
So RA has many different treatment options available now. We have old and new medications, targeted and general medications, all of which help to reduce the signs and symptoms of RA. And among these various options is prednisone, which is particularly useful for reducing inflammation in rheumatoid arthritis. And the particular type of prednisone that I like to use in my practice is Rayos,
Okay.
Which is a delayed release prednisone. Rayos is it's approved to treat as an immunosuppressive or anti-inflammatory agent, and it has a broad range of indications among various disorders, including rheumatologic conditions like rheumatoid arthritis.
Great. Jennifer, I know you were recently married. Congratulations, by the way. That's so exciting. But some things, at least in your life, socially, were being affected by your condition. Your family and your friends noticed things. Tell us what was happening with you.
So I found myself very fatigued. I was just tired all the time. And then I had this pain in my hands and fingers and wrists that would kind of come and go. And I would end up having to cancel plans with people because I was either too tired or I was in too much pain. I just didn't feel well overall.
Did any other parts of your body hurt?
Yeah, I had depending on how bad my symptoms get, when I flare, my hands and wrists again are involved, and my feet and ankles, and at one point my knees were so swollen I couldn't even walk up a flight of stairs at home.
Wow. What are you doing currently to combat these symptoms?
So currently I have 3 medications that I take every day, one of which is Rayos. I also have a medication that I inject every couple of weeks, and then I have pain medications as I need them.
Wow, you seem so young, Doctor. Is Jennifer typical of some of your patients that you treat?
So Jennifer's actually a little bit younger than the typical patient. Usually it's middle ages is when rheumatoid arthritis has its peak prevalence. But she provides a great example of someone whose rheumatoid arthritis is relatively early in its stages and may be more amenable to various treatment options in that scenario.
Doctor, side effects to certain types of medication can be a patient-doctor issue. And talk about how that could relate to dealing with RA.
Of course, yeah. We always have to balance the efficacy of any therapy with potential side effects, and particularly as it relates to Rayos, we have to consider that Rayos being a type of prednisone shouldn't be taken, for example, in people with allergies to prednisone. We also have to remember that Rayos can increase the susceptibility to infections, or it can worsen existing infections. It can also affect various hormones in the way the body responds to stress. It can cause eye problems such as glaucoma. It can cause slow growth in children. It can also cause fluid retention, mood and behavior changes, increased appetite and weight gain. It can also reduce the bone density, and especially in postmenopausal women, we have to be careful about that. And we also have to be careful in people with certain gastric and intestinal disorders who are at risk for perforations. So all of these need to be discussed, and the risk-benefit ratio always needs to be modified. And what we always aim to do is to reduce the dose of Rayos to as low as possible to help mitigate some of these effects. So obviously the side effects here are not a comprehensive list, and we always encourage patients to talk to their physicians or visit the Rayos website if they want a more complete list of information about safety.
Sure. Jennifer, are you seeing and feeling improvement?
Definitely. I have more energy, so my fatigue is better managed, and my morning stiffness is definitely decreased. I still have good days and bad days, so it's not, I don't think you're ever a fix-all with the RA. It's just balancing your life and the disease and going based off how you feel.
So, Doctor, before you leave us, any closing thoughts?
Certainly. For people that suspect they might have rheumatoid arthritis but yet aren't diagnosed, important to engage with physicians in order to get a proper diagnosis. And for those who have RA, is really to understand that their symptoms can be minimized with various treatment options out there. Rayos is one of those considerations of a medicine that can be used, and patients should get in touch with their doctor to discuss those options.
Great information. Thank you so much for coming, both of you. And if you'd like to learn more about RA and medical advances, simply visit us at thebalancingact.com or share with us anything related to the topic of RA by logging on to Facebook/The Balancing Act Fans.
It's everyday gourmet time. Do you have kids heading off to college and leaving the nest? It can be a scary time for all involved, but fear not. You can send them off with a little comfort food right from home.
Are you excited about leaving for school?
I am. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, we've got lots to pack, and good thing we have all these suitcases.
Yep.
You want to make sure that when they leave for college, they have everything they need. You've shopped for sheets, towels, toiletries, and clothes. And don't forget some comforts from the kitchen, too.
Let's pack up some Marachon noodle bowls and yakisoba trays. What flavors do you like best? I want to stock you up.
They're all good.
These will really come in handy. And let's add a few of these, too.
Will you make me one now?
Sure. We got to take a break from all this packing. What do you want?
A noodle bowl, spicy shrimp flavored.
Sounds good? I think I'll join you.
It's so easy. Just add flavor packet number 1 and then water to the fill line. The noodles cook right in the bowl in the microwave in only 3 minutes. When they're done, add flavor packet number 2, stir, and enjoy.
You know how simple it is, And they'll be a welcome break from the cafeteria. And they'll really come in handy when you're studying late at night. Plus, you could personalize them.
Yep, and I like to add a little garlic powder and chicken sometimes.
Let's pack some and add some fresh veggies. Are you ready?
I am.
Let's go.
When we're away, nothing says home like having access to our favorite comfort foods. Plus, they'll think of you every time they make one. Head to Marishon.com for more great ideas, and you can find Marishon ramen noodles in the soup aisle of your local supermarket. And don't forget to check out our website, thebalancingact.com. Ladies, are wrinkles and fine lines making you look and feel older than you really are? Are you frustrated because you're spending hundreds of dollars on creams, facials, anything and everything, but nothing really seems to work? Well, this morning, we have an incredible discovery that may be just what you're looking for. It's the 1 minute peel. That's right, the 1 minute peel. It's an exfoliator that instantly resurfaces your skin. It has a rare ingredient called noni oil, which deeply hydrates and nourishes your skin. You know, as we age, dead skin accumulates and becomes thick and stiff, increasing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, unfortunately. Well, 1 minute peel gently dissolves and eliminates surface buildup of dull skin, revealing fresh, healthy young skin, quickly using just your fingertips. Now you'll notice the results in just 60 seconds. You heard right, 60 seconds. Your skin looks youthful and radiant. You know, some of the most famous faces in the world have used 1 minute peel and love it. Now you can get Hollywood results at an affordable price. It's the 1 minute peel, and it's today's incredible discovery. Thanks so much for joining us today. We really hope you enjoyed the show. And if you want to learn more, head to our website, thebalancingact.com. We've got all the insider information there.
We sure do. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, and we want you to look us up. And until next time, remember, as always, find your balance. So long, everybody.